Alright, so I'm going to be posting this before my videos, guys, and you can partake in it or not, but we're going to do some singing bowls and I'm going to say a little prayer. And you're welcome to just sit and relax and free your mind up before the reading with me. I just wanted to do this. I'll timestamp it, so if you want to go straight to your reading, that's fine too. So we're going to go ahead and start. Take a deep breath. I call upon light and all beings whom serve only love and light. I ask you, angels, ancestors, and light beings, to cleanse and protect this space. Ask for your protection and guidance so that your divine sight can be delivered with love and healing for the greatest good. I ask you, angels, ancestors, and guides, to assist those whom these messages are meant for, to assist them on their journey of healing and spiritual growth. I appreciate your unconditional love and guidance. Thank you, angels, guides, ancestors, and Lord of Love. Amen. Okay, guys, so singing bowls. I'm just going to relax and listen. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if so, I'm glad, and I'm happy you guys come to my channel and enjoy your reading. Hi, guys. We are getting ready to do Pisces reading today. So I did pull out some decks that are going to be maybe working with some shadow work. I feel like it's really important. Pluto just went back into Capricorn, so we may be needing to look at some of our shadows. I know yesterday when I did Cancers, one of the biggest shadows I feel like for the water signs is being emotionally rejected or not having the emotional understanding, and we're constantly striving to get people to understand that, the realms of the water. Let's see what we have for you, Pisces. I am going to say a quick little, I know there's a video before this where there's the singing bowls and the little prayer, but I am going to say a little prayer right now. Thank you, Spirit, for your guidance, protection, and unconditional love. I'm grateful for all known and unknown, seen and unseen divine energy, guiding and allowing and protecting us as we receive these messages with an open heart and mind. I pray these messages of healing and protection reach those who need them and those who will fully embrace and express their own divine energy for the highest and most loving good. As we walk on the path of love, healing, and redemption, may your healing light touch, taint, and transmute all darkness with understanding, acceptance, and faith in the holy light of love. Amen. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, guys, so I got a lot of decks. I don't know if I'm going to use them all. It was really long yesterday. I pulled out like way too many decks, I think. So I'm just going to start with, I'm kind of doing my little tea time spread, my little tea spread. It's just kind of an overall of what's going on right now. And then the heart, the center of the matter, and then the root, what's kind of going on beneath the surface, okay? I don't always do this spread, but doing shadow work and stuff like that, and if shadow work's not your thing, then maybe watching these this series of readings that I'm doing. I don't always do this, so if you're new, welcome. This isn't how all my readings are. I have a lot of optimism and a lot of good things that come through these readings, but I am focusing on some of those dark corners of our minds and our hearts to look at. Oh, we got 2 of discs, a lot of change and a lot of stuff going on right now. Probably just started going through a lot of changes, shifts. You could be having some anxiety right now, Pisces. A lot. I'm feeling like there is definitely, and you may be trying to figure out right now, like, why am I having so much anxiety? We got the 2 of discs, which is that balancing act, you know, that trying to do lots of things all at once, a lot of shifts and changes happening around you, and you trying to stay centered and grounded while these changes and shifts are happening. We got the 9 of Swords in the middle, and this is you feeling maybe fear, anxiety. This could be all kinds of things. This 9 of Swords is just being so overwhelmed and with, I would say, quite mind-piercing thoughts that they make you kind of feel like you can't do anything. It's not just a trapped feeling. It's almost like a sick feeling. It's like I'm stuck here, like just with all this going on inside my head. And the good news is the 9 of Swords is usually only in your head. It's usually from not healing, from guilt, shames, anxieties, worries, constant worrying. You could be constantly worrying about something. You could be wondering why you're worrying about these changes. I feel like there's been a change here, and you're having anxiety about it. A lot of anxiety, maybe just fear. And you're with the Princess of Swords being on this the end card here. I feel like you could be looking at this going and really trying to think about why it is these fears or anxieties or this feeling of this change is setting you into a almost immovable place. Let's see what's in the heart here. And it's the 5 of Swords reversed. Despair. And I feel like you could be releasing that in the heart. Like there's a lot of like conflict you're trying to oh, okay, hold on. These have been very deep and a little longer. What do we got on the bottom here? The Magician. Well, you're definitely in a manifestation mode. So I will say this. 9 of Swords, not a good place to manifest from. Maybe, but we got the Princess of Swords, who absolutely will do anything mentally possible to overcome whatever she wants to do. She's thinking of the path, the plan. She may be doing research. This could be communicating. You know, this is, you may be seeking information. You may be communicating with others to try to understand more this fear or this anxiety. There is this 5 of Swords in the middle, and this feels like you're releasing like some sort of feeling here in your heart of having fought for something and not and it didn't end well, like on either end. So it's like you didn't really win, the other party didn't really win. This could be regarding anything. These are general, you guys. If it's not your reading, it's not your reading. But if it is, there's a feeling here of trying to come to peace with the way something happened. And you could still be, and maybe that's why these changes and stuff are causing so much anxiety, because you're trying to come to peace with, like, maybe you feel like there could be like parts you feel of yourself that were like didn't act good in a situation, or didn't take change, or something that was happening in a positive way. But at the root of it, it's because you want to start something new. So you could be revisiting stuff that maybe wasn't handled well or didn't turn out well. and you're trying to release that in your heart so that you can move forward. Because there's something here new you want to take a leap on, and you want to have faith in. And I feel like there's just a lot of mental anxiety around some past situation, and it's actually all swords in the center here besides this Fool. It's really about releasing the conflict and coming to peace with the fact that whatever this was that you're thinking about, that you could have did better, you could have did worse, they could have did better, that it's just too much anxiety and too much thinking, and it's time to release that so that you can and maybe the Five of Swords also could mean apologies, or just a kind of a truce, calling a truce. And this could mean calling a truce with yourself too, Pisces, or another party. But there is, and you could be reaching out and communicating to somebody about this. You could be talking about this with somebody, or the situation, or the person, or the place, kind of it feels like you're revisiting something mentally that was ugly. The Five of Swords is always ugly. It's like everybody wants to win. It's a fight for right fight. And in your heart, you're trying to make peace with that. It's like nobody was really like right or wrong. It's just, there could be a feeling here of needing to release all that kind of, the mental anxiety that goes with feeling like you did everything you could, good, bad, and ugly, to try to win at something, and maybe it didn't happen, or vice versa. Somebody else was doing this and it just didn't happen. But there's some kind of trying to release like regret and shame, and possibly guilt and disconnection, and take a chance here with kind of learning your lesson, because that's the Fool, starting the cycle over again. So you could be really feeling this inwardly and deeply, that you are starting a new cycle, and it's just going through this last bit of this mental conflict and anxiety about stuff not turning out right, maybe the way things were handled in past situations that left you feeling like you could have did better. The Princess of Swords, you need swords to fight swords. So it's good that the Princess of Swords is here, looking at this situation and possibly reaching out, communicating, and finding a new path forward that doesn't result the way it has. There's a lot of studying the situation, looking at the situation, analyzing the situation to figure out how this cannot happen again as you're stepping into a new cycle, if this is your reading, Pisces. So let's go ahead and get okay, guys. Okay, let's see, let's get these. Okay, this is the Wordless Oracle. Well, that's kind of, oh, that's beautiful. There is, okay, so actually Cancer had like a portal kind of energy too. I feel like the water energy is going through this kind of, it's like our hearts are telling us to heal something or do something to, but it kind of feels like you could be getting yourself into like other people's like shadows and other people's like stuff, but that's kind of our nature. And it was really kind of unclear. Like, I felt like for sure we were being led into this really emotional place that we have learned to kind of, I don't want to say detach from, but that's like, we've learned to hide it and disassociate our own, like our being from other people's emotional shadows and stuff, so that we can have stability, because our biggest shadow is not being able to help save somebody from their own emotions, or them not see our emotions as valid or something like that. This really feels like you are looking for that the way forward, and you're being led by your heart and your will. You want to move forward. There's definitely a feeling here of absolutely wanting to move forward, away from maybe some things that didn't turn out right, some shattered dreams, shattered hopes, expectations of another, maybe yourself, probably both. That's how life works most of the time. There's a lot of stormy clouds behind you, but you are moving forward, Pisces, and it still feels like there's just fragments of something here you are looking at, you're examining. I feel like you're looking back and examining this past situation, anything. I don't know exactly what this is, but it could be anything. But you're definitely looking at it and you're listening. You're trying to feel differently about it. But that all starts in the mind of how we perceive it. And I feel like you're definitely, it feels like you're looking up. You're going up. You're looking up. You're not looking down. It's not like you're living in the past or anything. There's just a feeling of examining the past and like your guilt and your shames and anxieties about how something was just not, it just didn't play out right. There was dirty, it could have been dirty fighting, name calling, stuff like that. It could have been really ugly. And you could have been a part of this. And you're just looking at it and knowing that, some dreams and some old expectations and stuff were shattered. And now it's time to move forward with your heart and not let that but it's like, how do I make sure this kind of communication doesn't happen again, or this kind of situation doesn't happen again? There's a feeling here of examining it. All right. Oh, this is beautiful. I love this. Oh, yes. Okay, so this does actually give me kind of that full energy. And there's a rose in it, which gives me love energy. And the rose, every rose has its thorn. It's like knowing that every relationship or every thing that we love in our life has thorns and has the potential to hurt us. It doesn't mean it's always going to, but most likely if you're with somebody, even your own kids, your own family, your own closest, longest friends, they've hurt you. You've hurt them. With love comes some pain, and that is a reality that, I feel like it's kind of crazy to sit there and say, oh, real love doesn't have pain. Really, I think maybe it's just my experience, but I just don't believe that. I think everything, even if it's just the last pain of losing that person to this world, there's always some kind of physical, earthly pain involved. But this is really taking a step out of, and this is like rising above. Like, I was feeling that, like looking above, going, kind of, and that's the Princess of Swords too, is taking a more optimistic path forward, above the mind, above the thoughts, in order to have an opportunity here to experience something in all its guts and glory is what's coming to my mind. Like, it takes a lot of guts to get into love or take a leap on something that you really want to be a part of, because from past experiences that it can get dirty and you can get this leaves you mentally, it feels like there's a lot of mental stuff being examined here, and but there's this feeling of calmly and kind of walking on the clouds, in the clouds, and I'm not getting that delusional cloudy energy. It's more like the mental, just a lot of thinking, and it's just more like taking those steps and trusting that those clouds are actually, you have to kind of walk on them, walk through them to get anywhere. We have to go through our mind first before we make the choice to do anything. So getting through your own mental doubts, obstacles, regrets, anxieties, curiosities, all that, we have to get through that mentally to make the step to take forward. If that makes sense, Pisces. So, I feel like right now your mind might just, yes, these clouds. You got so many clouds in your reading. And so she is also standing on the shore. The shoreline energy came in on Cancers too. And there's a feeling of being called, even though we don't want to necessarily, because of our past, because of our fears, because of our shadows. We don't want to go back in to the depth when we're just fine here on the shore with our feet on the ground, even though we're not fine, because we really want to emotionally dive into something, because we're emotional people, we're emotional beings. Our life without emotion is pointless, and we've been keeping it on the DL for a long time because we were like because it led to a lot of pain and hurt every time we showed our emotion. It was rejection, or could have been name calling. It could have been getting put, just feeling like, why do I even bring this up anymore? Because I'm just getting completely disregarded, you know? So there is a feeling here of like water energy right now being called to kind of go back in what I call it's the deep, it's the psyche. There's shadows in there. Because with every rose is a thorn. With every emotion, there's good emotions, there's bad emotions. So it's going back into an emotional place. But you know those clouds are there. You know there are unknowns there. You know you can't see everything that's going to come up to the surface once you get in. You can only see as far as you can. And then once you're swimming in it, once you're out there far enough, or in the situation deep enough, you can only trust that you know how to swim, and you know how to navigate through these emotions again. And that's the mental, that's the swords too, is navigation. There could have been something here in the past that wasn't navigated to the best, but we learn from that and we move on. But it feels like she is walking towards this water in this unknown, in this and going to go take a swim, you know? It's like, that's what I'm feeling like. Take a swim, Pisces. That's, you know, I might just label this that. Let's get a couple from these from the deep place. It's like you're examining a lot of kind of maybe, you know, it feels like, oh, echo. Yeah, so it's like, okay, let me take this in for a second. You could actually be, as you're looking back at old situations, old relationships, old jobs, old whatever this is, you feel this change coming. And maybe it is echoing kind of the same energy, because it is like there's a love there, or there's a familiarness there that feels almost like it could be repeating itself like an echo does. But then it gets more distant. If you think about an echo, if you sit with it and you listen to it long enough, it starts to diminish and then it's gone. But it feels like you could be getting an echo of something that's been kind of shattered and gone in the past, and it's coming through to you, and it's like you're seeing it again, or you're hearing it again. There's some kind of remembrance here, but it's like, okay, it's interesting because I'm getting let's get this one here. Yes. Oh, this is very interesting. Yeah. The moon. This could be shadow. This is shadow. But look at that. It's the same. She is in the clouds, but she's going through the clouds and she's seeing the earth, and it's illuminated, and she's basking in the earthly matters, earthly pleasures, regardless of, and there's that rose up in the clouds. It's like, you have to go through this kind of earthy, oh, it's not just even clouds, you guys, it's water too. Like, I'm getting like, yeah, this is water. This is the water. But she's walking on these clouds. Yeah, it's almost like the emotions and stuff do, and this is a message for water. It's like a whole nother world, but the world is made of water too, and it's a majority of water. It's almost like basking in the earth instead of basking in the sun. It's like there's something here in the earth matters that you're walking towards that could really be emotional and feel like, you already kind of know that you kind of gotta take a leap of faith on something. And because of past stuff, you may just be really re-examining like what has oh, and then we got the waters, you guys, coming out under where the girl is walking towards the sea here, the waters, and she is floating in the waters. It's like, yeah, you better hope you know how to swim, and you do. You know how to back float, so you're going to be fine out there in the water, Pisces. And pilgrimage, it's a whole new adventure here. It's a whole new, yeah, that's what I'm feeling like. We are going to read, oh, let's go ahead and read these. Let's read the echoes. echo. And these are going to be a little longer, you guys, because I just know. I've had that feeling yesterday, and then I was like, oh, do I want to do these readings right now? I know they're going to be deep, maybe some shadow stuff, but nothing we can't handle, you guys. But this feels like really good. Like there's something here you want to go towards that's calling you forwards, but you're just re-examining the echoes, the past, that maybe has felt distant and shattered. And it's like, but you're in this like pool of like emotion and water and very deep, like there's like a psychic energy here. It's like I know this is emotional and I'm good with that. I'm good with the thorns, I'm good with the water, but there's just a feeling here of looking back and going, how do I make sure this doesn't get releasing yourself from the anxiety of something being really hard and maybe even, like I said, bad in the past. Really, you know, we live in the echoes and reverberations of what came before. The resonance of aliveness happening around us. The echoes remind us that we live in dynamic relationship with the world around us. Dynamic. It's that dynamic. Make sure there's not the same dynamic. It's changing a dynamic that you're going into compared to what it used to be. That's what I am feeling. We are not isolated, disconnected happenings. Our voices and our energies continue to move through the world, making contact with what surrounds us and bouncing off surfaces to travel forward in a new way. What we touch and what we say and what we create matters. It carries on our handprints. It carries on, excuse me. And the Magician was on the bottom, so there is a creation happening here. You are creating something in your life right now, Pisces. I think you just want to do it from a place of understanding those those dynamics in relationships and those happenings. It says what we touch and what we say and what we create matters. It carries on. Our handprints are everywhere in all we do, and we touch the world. Yeah, something has definitely touched your world. And also, you know, I feel like you just want to create something here that does leave a better experience, a better print in your heart than this Five of Swords that you are really trying to heal, release, and come to peace with, you know, a peace. So let's go ahead and read this one, the Moon. This is interesting. Let's see, guys. I know it's here. I'm sorry. It's just, I do like to read these because I get something from them. But when I feel inclined to read them, there's usually something in here. If I don't get it, I'm sure it's for somebody. Excuse me. The moon is magnetic magic that invites us to absorb light, surrender to our organic cycles, and respond to the soft pull of lunar power. Yes, there's just something deep and psychic and emotional calling you to it. But there's just this revisiting of like the stuff that's been imprinted on you and you've imprinted on it, and it's like, I want to create something different here. And there's an understanding here with the earth, the organic earth material, and the rose, and the like love relationships. You know, we take chances, we fail, we take chances, we may get hurt. We take these leaps into these earthy relationships and earthy situations, and it's we're being called to it. The moon has so much to teach us about cyclical rhythm, ebbing and flowing, and radiant presence. Where in your life do you need gentle luminosity, magnetic power, steady cycles, and abiding balance? And how are all of these lunar qualities already alive in you? The themes is invitation, magnetism, rhythm, balance, and light. Oh, that's really interesting, because I thought she was basking in the earthly stuff, which is still the case, because this is something to do with moving into a earthy, we're on the earth, so you're definitely doing something new here. That's a new cycle. But the moon, it's being led by those emotions. I trust the rhythm of my creative unfolding. I am magnetic magic. I shine in the shadows. Yeah, looking at these old shadows of old situations, maybe old relationships. And this change could just be really, you're just trying to figure out how to stay balanced. And that is one of the key words, balance. Stay balanced in this kind of energy where it's like there could, like I said, be imprints of the last thing that didn't turn out well, or the last job that didn't, there could be something just kind of still echoing about that situation that you are looking at and trying to separate from the current situation. But it's not really separate, you guys, because it's all the same. It's still a relationship. It's still an earth thing. And it's still like, so it still gets us involved in these dynamics and these relationships of the earth, and these places where we could fail, or we could sell or sink, that is what I'm getting. Practices. Make a habit of looking at the moon in all its phases. When are you most creative, and when do you have most energy? How hard can you push forward before you need a break? What might it mean to work with rather than against your organic rhythms? Yeah, not fighting your natural rhythm. It's interesting. And then let's go ahead and look at this, the waters. There's something definitely naturally calling you forward, but you are naturally looking back and trying to, I feel like, just figure out what happened, how to make something better, how to do something better, and how to get through this, these clouds, this thought process. That's what I'm feeling like. A thought process could be just you're examining your thought process. That's what I'm feeling. 52, let's look at this. About something about the past so that you can really move forward. Because at the root of this, there's something coming up here, growing into, it's a new beginning, but there's just all this mental stuff on the surface that you're looking at. And it's not just, but it is mental stuff, because the way we handle conflict is our mental stuff. So if we got dirty, or we called names, or we did something, that's all stuff we have to examine in ourselves in order to get through our own mental obstacles. That's what I am feeling. There's something deep and primal about the water. It invites us deeper, beyond what's solid, into a space where there's only formless flow and fluid possibility. Water is the source. Water was there at the beginning. It's soothing, enlivening, and magical. Life emerges from the water, and we'll always find it if we dig deep enough into the earth, into ourselves. Flow, possibility, life, source, and depth. What wants to flow through your life experience, and how might you open to that movement? Yeah, I feel like you're really trying to open yourself up. Open that door up through life, the clouds. The clouds are great. They bring us rain. They also bring us storms, and wind, and shadow, but they also part, and it's nice. Clouds are not always bad, you guys. It's just you got to get through it's strange, you got to get through that atmosphere of your mind, to get to the other side, and to get beyond the kind of, it is shadow, but it's also shelter. You could be sheltering, working on a way to get out of your shelter. That's not, because it's like, there's just a feeling here of something having really put you in a place where it's like, I need to find my way from here, where I'm kind of like protected, sheltered, and step through and beyond, and go back into this watery emotional place, that maybe I have been more in a mental place, because there's this feeling of you taking in a lot of thoughts, and a lot of and sometimes repeating. I'm feeling like that, repeating thoughts, repeating shattering, repeating patterns maybe in things that you have been a part of, and you're looking at those things and going, how is this needing looked at and possibly gone through, so that I can have this kind of new experience, or this whatever this is, you guys. So let's go ahead and get one of these. Let's see. Oh, go in the river. Go with the flow right now, Pisces. Really kind of go with the flow. There's a feeling here. Waves. Revolution. Breathe. Oxygenation. And opposition. Head to head. Yeah, there's just this feeling here of coming up against yourself here in the mind about kind of getting through these, your own, like, mental obstacles on moving forward. Like, there's something you're not quite moving away from right now, but I think that's what you're working on, what you're examining. It's like, and it could be just this feeling or this actual happening of this not peaceful, not good situation that you're healing from. And it's like, there's a feeling here of like something big happening and you needing to slow down a minute, take that time to examine it, and kind of battle it out with yourself. Whatever this is, this could just be because something's feeling like it's reminding you of the past, but it's all going to remind you of the past. Everything today is going to remind us of something that happened in the past. That's life. So it's just really following your flow right now, going with the flow, going with your natural organic flow right now, Pisces. So let's go ahead and get one of these Kali cards here. And this says, Bhuvaneswari. She is the rising sun, marking the ending of darkness and the replenishment of life force after illness or devastation. That's what this was, something devastating. And something's changing now, which is good, because if something was devastating and something's changing, that means it's going to be good. It's replenishment of life force. This revolution, this ocean, this wave of emotion coming in to give you new life force. And help push you forward. Something pushing forward, but you can just still hear like the echoes of the past that you're visiting and just looking at and going, how can I get through those clouds to have this new beginning, this new, you're going to have to, there's just a feeling here of whether this is stubbornness or just two parts of yourself you have to really examine and look at to really to release the mental shadows and clouds to have a healthier or more stable situation in the future. She creates a clean slate and a fresh start. Yes, I was feeling that cleansing with the waves, which is a different card than this, but I am feeling that, the purification. And that's what this, looking back at these mental obstacles and these fights or these relationships that left everybody feeling like crap, that kind of thing, you know. She creates a clean slate and a fresh start. She protects and preserves that which is worthy of the heart. She shines in a perpetual state of divine beauty and radiance, attracting to us the most supportive and honoring circumstances. Something really good happening right now here, Pisces, but there is a feeling here of needing to, like, kind of look, and you probably are, like, looking back at how some past things have left you feeling not restful or peaceful in your heart, and you want that peace in your heart, especially for a new beginning, especially if your head or things that you did, which it always is stuff we do and other people, got in the way or just, you know, didn't help the situation or whatever that is. It's really clearing a pathway for yourself. That's what this is. That's what this Princess of Swords is. She's examining, she's learning, she's observing. She might be communicating, talking to people about it in order to give her a clear path forward through these clouds. It's interesting. And then there's just all this water and emotion on the other side of this. But I feel like right now it's just getting through this. Take breaths too. There was a whole like breathing exercise, and we're definitely past, present, and future. Yeah, it's like I'm feeling that, like everything from now is going to echo parts of the past, and everything from now is, you know, it's kind of, there's a feeling of it all being connected, but us needing to look at, I am going to read that, you guys, because I just want to. It's past, present, future. We all arrive on this earth with a plan. We all have lessons to learn. Exactly. It's like that was the plan, but now something's changed. We learn our lessons, and that's what this Nine of Swords is, and this Five of Swords reversed. It's like, I'm in my head, and I feel really, I feel bad, but I'm thinking more badly about the situation or the way it was handled, whatever. It's leaving me with a lot of anxiety, maybe fear of moving forward into the future, or even being in my present. Sometimes we can get stuck in the past and not even be present. There's so much to this, Pisces. We have lessons to learn. In the process of learning those lessons, most of us will encounter experiences that we will label as bad. This labeling and duality we carry with us wherever we go is what we call our so-called baggage. Yeah, that's it. You're re-examining the baggage of something old that could echo into your present and your future if you don't kind of figure out a way through the clouds right now. That's what I am feeling. When we let these labels direct our reactions to life and experiences in the present, or even project them into the future. Yeah, when we let them echo into the future or the present, we are working with a lower energy vibration. And that is this Nine of Swords and this Five of Swords. And it's like, you're starting a new cycle here, I feel like. You know that's here. But right now, with a lot of changes happening, there's still this feeling of re-examining, like bringing stuff you've learned, the vibrations of kind of the stuff we went through to learn the lessons into the present. You take the lesson with you. You just don't take the things you went through to learn. So as long as, but maybe you're still learning. Maybe you're still examining the situation so you can take notes and say, okay, I need to look at this a little differently because I feel like I didn't learn just everything I could have, or there's still something more I could learn from looking back at this. So you might just be taking that last glance back to say, what can I do differently so that this doesn't echo into my future, so I don't keep, so there isn't something continuously reaching for me in my present. That is what I'm feeling too. When you are able to integrate your lessons without labels and not label it bad or good, that's that Nine of Swords. It's like, oh, it was horrible, it was rotten, I'm just saying that was an experience and I learned from it, and it doesn't make, it makes you less like angry, bitter, and it brings up your vibration when we can just accept life as a whole bunch of lessons, and some of them just hurt a hell of a lot worse than others. I'm just gonna say it. It's just, that's the truth, When you are able to integrate those lessons without labels, you are free to remain in the present experience and enjoy it for what it truly is, and bask in that. What I felt was the earth, but it's also that moon energy and being present. And that's also this, being present in that, walking along on top of the clouds and the things that you've went through already, and kind of being free and still able to move forward even into something that, could hurt, could be a lesson. It's okay. That's why we're here, You can then move forward into the future without expectation, agendas, and be much more open to what will be for the highest best. Let go of labels and judgments surrounding your situation. Let's not label them bad or good. Let's not judge. Let's not cast stones. Let's just go with the flow. Let's go ahead and re-examine. Maybe we've judged. Maybe we've let the past echo into our present and our future. And I feel like that's what is being said here, is to examine that and how you bring those into your life today. So to close up your guys' message, Pisces, we are going to get one of these spiral oracles. I always love what they bring in at the end of a reading. Okay, life. Oh, I love spirit. Okay, and the Temple of Love. Okay, so this is definitely moving into a direction that you want to have love. You want to have love in your life. You know it's hurt. You know you've learned lessons about this stuff in the past. It's time to breathe. It's time to be purified and cleansed. First, you got to do that in your mind, and then let that settle in your heart. Not judge it, not label it, not say it was a horrible part of your life. It might have been not feeling too great, but you learned something from it. So, Oh, I'm going to read this, you guys, but it's beautiful. Life. And this is how life is. It's great. These readings, they're deep. It's good. I did pick, like I said, I picked these decks specifically to get into a little more of our, go a little deeper here because, it's really important. I think a lot of people are ending old cycles and have learned a lot. And I think it's time we really re-examine, revisit, like I said, I think it's important with that Capricorn energy right now. It's kind of our last revisiting before we settle into that Aquarius energy, which is being complete and whole with others. And, we got a lot of separation issues or individual, keeping ourselves away from people and keeping our deep-seated self away from people because of our past. We're letting it echo right now into our present, and it's really important that we don't do that. I feel like this world, we're trying to get through those clouds, and so there can be more connection. And that starts at home. That starts in your own life, those connections. So I turn my attention to my inner life, my inner strength and stealth and diligence. In this darkness, I listen to the silence that speaks the words of great mystery. I rediscover the benefits of concentration, consciousness, and contemplation. That is that Princess of Swords, you guys. She is concentrating. She is conscious of what she's looking at, her own thoughts. She's looking at her own process. And she's contemplating whether this is right, here I go, all labeling, we're so good at that. Whether this is a more beneficial way of looking at things, or what could have been handled differently in the mind first and then outwardly. When I look into the darkness of the unknown, the jaguar guides me into the light on the other side. Oh, the light on the other side of the clouds, you guys. I'm feeling that. Like on the other side of this contemplation, on the other side of this thinking, through the clouds to the light, to this opening up of getting kind of out of your own head. Getting in your heart and getting out of your head. Not letting these vibrations hold you back from moving on from what's been, and going into being where you are and creating something different for the future. And yeah, there's always a chance things ain't perfect, ain't gonna work out, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's living. This is life. Oh, she tests me. And this is the jaguar it's speaking of, I believe. She tests me, giving me the strength to move fearlessly in the wilderness, the unknown, wild, reminding me that once I learn to walk quietly in the darkness, I will be able to find unbreakable peace on my path. That's this back floating. It's like I've swam through this storm before. I've went through this before. I'm confident that nothing can kind of break my mind, break my spirit at this point. I can go into this and trust the flow of how things are going, either anyway, always, because that's our trust in our process, our life, our experiences, and our lessons. Having faith in all those things that happen in your life, and believing that they are there for a reason, and it's to bring you to a better place, to bring your spirit to a much more understanding place, and just open. It's just really nice. Little by little, the masks and bonds are destroyed. That is what I'm kind of feeling, is like there was a lot of destroying in the past of masks and bonds, and there's a lot of thinking about that and thinking about that stuff, and there could be just something, kind of still you're looking at here, contemplating. Today I surrender. Oh, it says, hold on. Little by little, the masks and bonds are destroyed. My inner beast is integrated, and with courage, life is reborn. Stepping back in, taking that. I don't feel like you fully leaped into this yet, Pisces, but I feel like you're well on your way. It's just you're taking a few last glances back. You are marking an ending to this darkness with this Nine of Swords right in the middle. You are right at the end of this Swords energy. The darkness in your own thoughts, the darkness in the way you've handled things, the way you've handled others, people's stuff. It's just learning a lot of mental control and a lot of mental balance, so that you can have a really much more balanced future, especially emotionally, because everything we think affects us emotionally, and we are water signs, so that water energy is just all emotional, and when our head's messed up, our emotions can get real messed up. So that's just the truth. Stability and balance, and that's really interesting that we're ending the reading with this kind of energy too, because this is life too, going back and forth, trying to keep your balance when all this stuff's happening around you, and you like, there's this part of you that's just like, and the Rams are in this too. You may have Aries or something like that in your chart too. And I would check out that planet if, its placement in its house, if that's in your chart, because the Ram is standing out to me really a lot in this reading. And it says, I was not paying the necessary attention, and it was much simpler than I thought. I keep my eyes wide open to what this moment has to offer. Not bringing the past into it, not bringing the future into it, just being in the present moment and just feeling it, taking it really, really deep within and going with the flow, knowing that you have the navigation system to get through emotions, and you're just re-examining the mental navigation, I think, right now. Almost without realizing it, an opportunity appeared in front of me that I had not seen before. An opportunity to overcome inner blocks that had not allowed me to grow. Now I know how to move and how to go forward. Yes, those blockages, this cloud energy. I feel like the inner blocks that were mental, like maybe things you needed to change about the way you handled things, or responded, did, maybe with the Five of Swords here reversed. It's like you could have said, did some things that you're just not proud of, and you're like, man, I could change that, and I need to look at that because that was me, and there's a lot that's other people's shadow, and there's our shadow, we got to deal with what we can. We got to change what we can. We can't change other people's stuff. They got to do their work. Now I know how to move and how to go forward. An intervention from above. Oh, that is interesting, because that's really what this is. It's like, do I take this cleansing, this purifying, this big wave of like what wants to come in and clear your mind and clear your heart of this past lesson? I should say the experiences, not the lesson itself. But yeah, that's what I am feeling. An intervention from above, from within, stabilizes me. Oh, there's definitely a feeling here of you being supported right now, and being calmed by kind of looking at those shadows, because it's really getting you to see something here. And I feel like you could be really freeing yourself from definitely some mind stuff, so that you can emotionally move forward and trust yourself. This is the Fool to me. Trusting yourself, trusting you've learned the lessons, and trusting no matter what comes on the path, you're in the right place at the right time. That's the Fool. I find the conscious tools that will guide me from now on. From now on. That's interesting. An intervention from above and from within stabilizes me. I find the conscious tools that will guide me from now on. That's that magician energy that's on the bottom, you guys. And that's the learning of the lessons. And realizing, maybe I didn't have the right tools for the job, but I do now. And I know which ones I need to use in what situations. And I know what not to use. I know what's too hurting. I know what causes too much damage. I know that words hurt. I know that things, I know what needs to happen in certain situations, and I've learned. This says we build too many walls and not enough bridges. So not putting up those labels, not putting in those judgments, building a bridge of peace between you and the past, so that you can stand here in your present and move towards the future, with also knowing how to build that bridge. If you know how to build a bridge to the past and heal the emotional waters that flow and kind of keep, it is echoing, it feels like you build a bridge of peace to the past, and you can build a bridge of peace in the future. You're learning how to build that with this peace and this comfort in yourself, to just connect them. They're connected, because this taught you what you do or don't want to do here. This is a bridge, a connection. You're understanding a connection maybe in the past that you had, or some of the things you may have partaked in or done left you feeling this way. Well, that's a connection. So now we can take that connection and we know, okay, this is what I'm not going to do right now, or this is what I am going to do. There is a feeling here of needing to trust yourself right now, Pisces, because you are examining some mental thoughts, maybe thought patterns, stuff like that, that you could very well need to look at so that you can have peace in your heart about the fact that these are lessons. And as long as you learn the lesson, you have peace. You will find peace. And maybe that's what you're trying to find, peace in it. Whether this is just, and it's so because you want to move on. It's because you want to get out of this space of trying to it's like you want to be done learning this part and get on with your next cycle. That's what it feels like. And it's like, that's this mental part. It's this swords. So there's just something you're looking at here where it's like this guilt, this shame, this stuff that didn't go perfect or right. And partially probably your parting and others. Whatever the situation was, it didn't... you can look at the things that made it worse. You can look at the things that have left you feeling like unpeaceful about it, and you can heal those things by releasing them and saying, okay, I learned my lesson, I can move on now, and move on. So that is your guys' reading, Pisces. So I really hope you guys enjoyed your reading, and I don't know if I said it at the beginning, but if you're new here, thank you. I appreciate you coming and checking out the channel. If you're returning, I appreciate your support. These are a little longer, so I appreciate your patience also. And you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.